Welcome to the podcast. Now that I'm engaged, how do I get married? I'm your host, Kevin Dennis.
And I'm August Joker, co-host and brand manager at Fantasy Sound Event Services.
In addition to leading the charge at Wedding IQ, I also run Fantasy Sound Event Services, a lighting and entertainment company based in Livermore, California, that I founded over 35 years ago.
Each week on this podcast, we'll explore a new corner of wedding planning so you can prepare for your I-dos without the stress.
From budgeting to booking vendors to the day of drama.
Let's talk smart wedding planning.
All right, folks, welcome to another episode of Now That I'm Engaged, How Do I Get Married? And we have a formal couple with us here. We have DJ and Jacob, and they got married back in June on the 28th. And we were fortunate enough to coordinate their wedding ceremony part of the early part of the day. And then we also did some lighting for their wedding. But before we jump in and talk about their wedding day, can DJ and Jacob, can you tell us a little bit, just like your love story, how you guys met and how did you get to June 28th? I guess is the biggest thing.
Yeah, of course. Do you want to start? Do you want me to start?
You got it.
Okay.
I love that. You got
it. So I moved out to the Bay Area after I graduated, and dance has always been a big part of my life. I used to do competitive dance as a child and a teen, and then after college, I was like, I want to still do this. So I joined a competitive team in San Jose, and Jacob was at San Jose State still. So he was living in San Jose, and he also joined the team. And that's kind of where we met.
I love it.
You are with a bunch of peers for many long hours practicing into the night and into the early morning. You tend to bond with those people a lot. So that's how we found each other. I think it's funny when people ask, though, because neither of us can pinpoint the moment we actually first met, right?
Yeah. I mean,
Oh, really?
Yeah, we can't remember.
We were both, like, I guess, in different parts of our lives, or like, when we first really started, I guess, hanging out that's when I first remember, quote unquote, meeting DJ.
Yeah, like I don't even. Hi, I'm DJ. Hi, I'm Jacob. I can't remember any of that stuff. It's just us gradually developing a friendship, and then over that time, developing a deeper friendship. And that's how things happen. Because everyone always asks us that. I'm like, I don't know. I actually don't know how I met you.
I feel like it's almost better that way. Like you said, it was just natural, gradual, and it felt right. So I kind of love that.
Yes, no meet cute or anything. It was like a very natural development.
Well, the turning point was when I needed a date to my holiday party. So I just freshly graduated, and then I was working here in San Jose, and it was my first like company holiday party. I was single at the time, wasn't really talking to anyone at the time. So then DJ was always a great person to hang out with. So I was like, you know what, it might be pretty fun, and we kicked it off from there. It was like 2018, December 2018, and almost 10 years.
Yep, literally that day. Since that day, that holiday party, and then that day on, it was like no turning back.
I love it. That's great.
Yeah,
the rest is history.
Yep. It really was. Yep.
All right. Well, thank you guys for sharing. That was really sweet to get into that. And am I right to suggest that a lot of your guys' peers, the dance group, was part of your wedding party too, right?
Yep.
Because I will say later on, I saw a really fun dance video on Instagram of you guys. And I was like, that's our couple right there. They killed that. So that was really cool to see that. But are we ready to get into some questions? I know with this continued segment, the whole point is now you guys are married. You guys have been through the process. So we want to bestow your wisdom and your advice on the couples that are currently in the process.
Yes, definitely.
Right.
I mean, I think we wish we had that too.
Yeah.
A fresh experience for us. So the perspective that you'll be getting is from a couple that was very green to the wedding industry, to the wedding planning process. Like, we knew nothing going into this.
You guys haven't had any friends get married?
Well,
No.
we did go to a wedding a year prior, but that was in the Philippines, and it was like,
Oh,
You weren't
those
doing
weddings are
this.
crazy in the
yeah, it's
Philippines.
different. It's a different.
Like the
Yeah.
whole village comes and there's hundreds and thousands of people. It's insane. I've heard about these weddings. They're like insane.
Very different. Like, no one in our close circle. Like, we've never been in a wedding. We've never been on a bachelorette trip. I've never been to a bridal shower. Like, any of those things that I ended up doing, I had never been a part of. So it was all a very new experience.
Well, you were a pros pro on the day of, so you guys did great.
I was gonna say, because I was gonna bring that up at some point during this recording, that you guys were just like, I know Kevin said it already, but so organized. It just made our day so much easier. But I am excited to kind of hear where you guys' heads were at coming into this with no prior blueprint or experience or just anything to base it off of at all.
Yep.
All right, so let's jump in. So what was the first thing you did after you got engaged? And how did you feel like after you got engaged?
Whenever people ask me how I felt on the day of the engagement, I feel like I was so shocked that I couldn't even fully process what was happening. Because there were like a couple hints here and there, but everybody around us that were involved in some way, shape, or form, like our friends and family,
They're good actors.
they held up the act so well. Like, they did all of these things that really made it look like it was authentically, because Jacob disguised it as like a family, like, Christmas card photo shoot. So showed up thinking that the entire family was going to be there. We were going to do family pictures for like 2 hours with a friend who's a photographer. So I had that mindset going into the day, like, okay, I've got like my family hat on, like I've got my picture taking hat on, and I'm like thinking about all these things, like, how am I going to pose? How many types of pictures should we do? So then as soon as things were happening, I remember I was walking too fast, and then you were like, stop, there's no photo shoot. And I was like, what? What's happening? So then even after the engagement, I was still like, what's happening? Like, I was putting on this face, like moving along, like going through the motions, but I was just like, what's going on? I like could not put things together. Like, it took, I think, even a couple of days after, like, what is happening? And I think that's why I didn't cry. Like, a lot of people will cry.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But no, I didn't. And I was like, does this mean that I'm not going to cry during the wedding? Like, am I not as sensitive as I thought? But I think it was just because I was so shocked that I couldn't even grasp it. So then the first thing that we ended up doing, everyone's telling me what's happening, and they're saying, like, now we're going to go to lunch with our parents and your new future in-laws, and we're all going to meet at this Italian restaurant. But in my head, I'm like, what's going on?
You're still in picture taking mode. You're like haven't transitioned yet.
I'm like looking around, looking for our parents, like, wait, but where is everybody else? Yeah, it was so funny. But you organized all of that, so
Yeah.
you should comment on how that went down.
Yeah, definitely want to like keep it intimate for the moment. Try to really just feel the raw emotions and just let it. I mean, I was really stressed the morning of because of the weather. It wasn't so much the plan, but it was gonna rain, or it did rain. So I was up since 5 just checking the weather app. So I was really stressed about that, because obviously if it's raining, like, why are we still taking pictures if it's raining? That makes no sense, right? So that would have blown it.
Although when it does rain, the photos turn out so nice because it's
right,
like
because
so yes.
The lighting is good. Yeah.
Exactly. But I wasn't sure if my friend who's the photographer, Raymond, I wasn't sure if he had the right equipment to keep his stuff dry. So I was worried about that. But yeah, right after I knew I wanted to have, because like all of our families are really close, so I knew I wanted to have a like a nice lunch, and she loves Italian food, so we went to a nice Italian restaurant in Campbell, and yeah, so we got to enjoy that. And then I think we were just so exhausted after the first thing we did when we got home was just take a nap for, I think it was
Yeah.
2 to 3
That's
hours.
so real. I love
Yeah.
that.
Well, the shock is moving through my body. I need to lay down. This
Yeah.
is too much.
But when we woke up, we actually had plans that night for our friend's 30th birthday. There was like a last minute plan, and so we went out to downtown, and that's where we got to break the news to all of
Which
our
was
friends.
nice because
Yeah.
all of our friends were already there, so we could just easily just break the news.
Oh, that's nice.
All the people.
And it's
So
not like
it's-
you had to keep it a secret for very long. Like, I'm sure you were just ready to tell everyone and they were all waiting for you. So,
Yeah, all you have to do is like show them the engagement ring, and then everyone starts screaming and
Yeah.
jumping up and down. So it all went over very smoothly, like after the engagement happened, and then seeing everybody. So it all happened well, even though I was like in shock for 3 days after.
yeah.
I love it. All right. So then how soon after you guys got engaged did you jump into like the planning process?
Mhm.
say a couple weeks, like
No, I would say literally that
week.
next day we already
Jacob, you're going to be wrong at anything you say. So
get used to it now. No, the next day, remember we started making a draft
Oh, we
guest
did.
list.
Yeah.
We started
Oh.
just because we wanted to kind of see what was
like a
important.
rough draft.
Yeah, exactly. Like what was most important to us was having our family there, but you guys saw we do
300,
not
yeah.
have all
You
family.
filled the whole church. There was a
Yes.
seat, I don't think.
Yep, exactly. There were people standing, I think, in the
Yeah.
back, but we made that first draft guest list, and that's when it started to hit us. We only finished my family, and we were like, oh God.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people
My mom's side is 100 people.
alone.
Wow.
Just his mom's
Just
side.
mom's side. That's how my mom's side was when I got married. It
Wow.
was
Mhm.
I have too many cousins is what it
Yeah.
comes down to.
It's
Yeah.
all the cousins.
You got 23 cousins.
Yes,
Yeah.
which is a huge blessing. But I think that was the first step for us. So like that day after, and then before the week ended, I was looking at churches. And
Oh,
I set on the mission because I was like, this place is gorgeous.
it's
So-
stunning. It's absolutely stunning. And it's very special that it was your uncle that
Yeah.
did the service. So that, I mean, I
Yeah.
think that makes it even more. And he did such a nice job. So it just made it.
Mhm.
And it's probably so much more special because you guys know him very well. You know what I'm saying? Like there was a lot more meaning behind it.
Right.
Mhm.
And he traveled all the way from Europe, so he's a busy.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he's living in Brussels right now.
Oh,
Yeah, so he was there for a couple of days for our wedding, and then he was celebrating a big anniversary of his own ordination in the Catholic Church,
oh, okay.
so in the Bay Area. But a fun fact that I wanted to add, I just thought of this. So when my parents got married in 91, he was meant to do their wedding mass
in
in
the Philippines.
the Philippines, and he was still studying as a student in Vatican City. So
Oh,
he
wow.
had to then
Wow.
fly from Europe to the Philippines, and he was almost there, but a big volcano, Mount Pinatubo, erupted on his way there, and they had to turn the plane around. So he never got to say the mass.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah. So then what was extra special was that he actually got to be there and do it for us, even though he never had a chance to do it
do it for
for
your parents.
parents.
Yeah,
No,
that's going to be special for your parents as well. So,
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
well,
It was-
I had no idea he was from Brussels. So that's amazing.
And
Yeah.
Vatican City too. That's just so impressive. Like really cool.
Yeah, he's a
He's
newly,
legit.
yeah, newly appointed Archbishop of Europe. So yeah,
Of the
Holy
European Union.
European Union.
Wow.
Wow. You guys, that's super cool. Wow. That's so amazing.
It was cool. Yeah, it made it super special because that promotion had just happened the month before the wedding happened. I
Well,
mean,
then
it was a busy time in the Catholic Church. The Pope had just died
Yes.
Right.
a month before. Like, I was like, oh no, is he gonna have to go to Rome? He's not gonna come to the wedding. But no,
Oh,
it turned out just fine.
that's good.
Wow, and so special. And no volcanoes this time. So
Yeah.
dang.
Thankfully,
That's
in the
so-
U.S., we're
In our
good.
area.
Wow. Well, how did you guys go about choosing all of your other vendors and creative partners? What made you feel confident about those decisions when you guys were weighing out who to pick?
Yeah, so actually, Casa Real, where we had the reception, had a really great preferred vendors list, which is where we also found Fantasy Sounds. But it was a really great starting point because then at least we could go into it knowing that all of the vendors on the list were trusted or have a lot of experience. But there were also we took advantage of like our own personal network too. Like we knew some of our past, one of our past dance friends, Kenny. He actually was the photographer for our
Oh,
wedding. So we knew him personally. He's immediately who we thought of when we wanted to shoot the wedding. So that
Which
was
is crazy. He's pretty well known in the Bay Area. Like
Mhm.
we've worked a lot of weddings with our story media, so that's like honestly really
yeah. I
cool.
remember seeing him start up back in like 20
Yes, I was.
during the pandemic. That's
Yeah,
really when he shot up.
well, because we've known him for like 10
Yeah.
years now, so
oh,
I
I had no
saw
idea.
the bare bones of him starting his business and him telling me he wanted to start a business and go into the wedding industry. Like, we saw that growth happen just so rapidly. So we were like, oh my gosh, it has to be him. Like, it can't be anyone else.
Plus,
Right.
you probably feel super comfy with him, and that's like a day where
Yeah.
you want to feel super comfortable too.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. And they did a great job adapting to the big family because I know it
He
can be
only
a
does
lot.
and he mainly does intimate weddings, that's what we know too. Like, he does, like, a lot of
Oh.
destination stuff, so it's
Hmm.
actually really great that he was able to shoot our wedding as well. Our DJ also was a personal reference. One of my cousins, he actually is a vinyl DJ here in the Bay Area.
Oh, cool.
Oh, so
Like,
cool.
I hit him up one day and was just like, "Do you have any good references?" So he sent me DJ Eternal's number, and he's actually a great MC as well, so it was kind of killing two birds with one stone there. But yeah, a lot of like personal references and the preferred vendor list. That's how we kind of got our vendors, and then just doing extra research on top of that.
Awesome. Well, DJ Eternal is super fun. You guys knew I used to work at Casa. He was there all the time and
Oh yeah.
always was a big party when he was around, so he was super fun. How did you guys feel about making decisions together? Was that usually pretty easy? Were you guys normally on the same page with things?
Yeah. Um, so it's a really big project. It's probably the biggest project you'll do together so far in your relationship planning a wedding. I think it happened in the most ideal way possible, but that doesn't mean that when you're planning something so major with someone else that you're not going to disagree. And I think it was a really good glimpse into how we as a couple collaborate and manage problem solving because there are certain things that we discovered along the way are our strengths between the two of us. Like, I think there is a popular understanding or conception that the bride takes over and that she has this very specific vision, and ever since she was a little girl she has imagined this like beautiful wedding. And I always imagined I was going to get married, but I was never like, I'm going to do this and I'm going to have that and it's going to look like this. Like, I was never that little girl. And I think also
I
people
think, yeah,
might
that's the norm. I'm going to be honest with you. I think that's more the norm than the fairy
yeah,
tale.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. Because I was like, going into it, I was like, I just
Is
don't know.
something wrong with me? Yeah.
Yeah, like, I
Yeah.
don't actually know what I see. I see you and I there, but I don't know what I see around us, you know? I wasn't.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it would be really hard to kind of initiate things over the last year and a half to just get started because
Mm.
there are certain points in the planning process that are more difficult than others. Um, but Jacob actually was really good at motivating us to stay on a deadline and then
Oh.
stay organized in a very specific way. Like, he uses like Excel or Google Sheets. Like, he knows how to do all that stuff. I'm like the visionary, and then I would kind of come up with these ideas. We would discuss them. We would discuss what's realistic. And then a lot of the, I guess, people facing things I would always do. So taking calls like with our vendors, I was usually the one initiating communication or having all of those meetings. Like he would be there as well, but then I was always like doing the scheduling. But then the budget, which is like the most important and foundational part to the entire process, Jacob was in charge of that entire thing. And so there was like this balance that we discovered along the way. And you're not going to just have that balance right away, right? Even if you kind of delegate things a certain way from the start, like you just kind of start to find out what you're good at. And there were things that surprised me. Like I thought I was going to be the one like, let's do this today. Let's do this tomorrow. But he actually was so much better at that and was really good at holding us accountable to things, because I think I was very sometimes sporadic about like, oh my gosh, I need to do all of this right now. And then I need to do all of this next month. And it didn't have to be that way. He was so good at encouraging me to like, it is okay to just chip away. You don't need to do everything in one day. And then because I would get so overwhelmed so easily. And so like, I think that's what made the planning process as smooth, I think, as it could have gone. You know, not to say like there are certain things that you disagree on along the way, but yeah,
But
that's
I think that's great advice for every day. Just chip away, and like there are days that get overwhelming, and you just continue to chip away at it a little here, a little there, and then before you know it, everything's going to work itself out. So that's good advice for every day. And it's gonna take you guys far into the future. So, all right. So, question: opinions. So, as you probably learned, probably from the moment you guys got engaged, everyone has opinions when it comes to weddings. As someone that has been married and actually has children, I'm going to tell you, take the opinions you got for the wedding and times it by like at least 4 or 5. And that's the opinions you're going to get when you have a child. So, so how did you guys balance opinions from family and friends through the process? Because this is something I think couples struggle with the most.
So I think opinion wise, I think all of our family were coming from like a point of like they're trying to help us. Like it's all a good intention at the end of the day. But I honestly think our parents were not too. They didn't lay it on us too much. They kind of understood, like maybe there's some things that they wanted to see, but they would always like pose it as a suggestion, not so much as a forcing it on us. So that definitely kind of helped ease us. So we did take like opinions into account, but at the end of the day, we know what we can and can't do given like our circumstance and budget and just what's realistic for us. So we do take everything with a grain of salt. But at the end of the day, like the opinions are there to help us kind of, again, maybe there's something that we missed. There's like a question that we didn't even consider. So they were helpful sometimes, and then other times, we just, it's not always so straightforward when they give us an opinion.
I think one thing to consider for people that are planning is understanding the culture and the dynamics of your family already based on, your entire lives with them, because I think you and I have set a precedent that, we are getting engaged with a year and a half to spare, and that was intentional, right? We promised to wait for engagement until I was finished with grad school so that we had a stable income. And we shared that with them, and they knew that. And so there are certain things that we had already kind of just tried to plant the seeds so that we could show everybody that we were worth trusting in this process. Even when it came to how organized we wanted to be, right? Like when we were communicating with our families and the bridal party, like there were things that we did early on so that come the time there were no questions about it, right? So like we were trying to
there were still questions about it.
Yeah,
I remember you guys saying that on the bus. You're almost like training the wedding party, right? It's the day of. There was no room for interpretation. Everyone knew what they were doing.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And so I think that kind of sets a little bit of a barrier for offering more and more opinions. I mean, I think one thing that we did get a lot of was, so how can I help? So what can I do? So how can I help? And sometimes we just didn't know what to ask for. And then we would just be like, well, not really anything because we still have a lot of decisions to make. And again, a lot of our really close circle, we haven't been in a wedding before. So those people didn't have a lot to offer because they hadn't done it yet. So that's also kind of creating a barrier to who's going to offer an opinion. Of course, like parents are going to be parents and they're going to do that for the rest of our lives. But again, we know that I think it's viewing it with a lens of empathy of like, okay, they're just trying to be helpful. Like we know none of this is malicious. And also like that is the culture of our families. Like we have an understanding that we trust each other and we're not pushing to a point of breaking, right? So yeah, I agree with what you said too.
Well, I was going to say too, it's nice when that happens, but you're also setting a precedence for the future of what your guys' life is going to be together. But it's also, you mentioned being one of the first of your friends. I personally feel for couples that are in your situation, it's easier to get married because one, no one's comparing their wedding to your wedding.
Yeah.
No one's telling you have to do this because this is what I did at my wedding. It's actually a really sweet spot to be. It's harder for couples that get married and they're one of the last of their friend group to get married because every one of their friends has an opinion, because that's the biggest thing. And you mentioned your parents got married in 91. From 91 to today, weddings are so different. And it's even, and we hate the COVID word, but even from like pre-COVID to post-COVID, like weddings are so different. Like weddings have continued to change and it just continues to change. And so having people that are a little bit more like, no, this is what we're going to do. And that's a sweet spot to be in for you guys. So you guys were very lucky.
Yeah. I do think it was ideal because we were
I
all
agree.
shrugging our shoulders like, I don't know. I don't know what to do.
That is so funny.
Yeah.
Okay, so kind of more of a fun question, but if you could relive one part of the wedding day, which part would you pick?
There are so many. But I think what I remember the most, or what was really fun, was actually after we were finished taking pictures. It was cocktail hour, and DJ and I decided to stay out during cocktail hour to mingle with it. So I know typically, like, it might be common to kind of just chill in the back room, kind of catch your breath, and kind of recollect before the actual reception starts. But I was all up in the the crowd, saying hi to everyone, getting some real face time with people, and like really thanking them for being there. Just catching up with because a lot of our family travels from so far, and we knew that the whole day was going to be a struggle to like really talk to everyone. So I think staying out during cocktail hour, it felt like it was like that's when I felt like the party really starting, and just getting to enjoy the venue that we booked, and like there were so many details with the new bar that Casa Real had, and the satellite bars so everyone just looked really comfortable in the space. And I think enjoying that time before there was like a more structured event, I think I would relive that because that's like the real social part of the wedding that I enjoyed.
Yeah. Yeah, because we actually had originally planned not to go out at all. I was like,
and it's
hide.
and I find that couples that do go out really relax a little bit more and feel a little bit more comfortable and get to enjoy their wedding. Because I have a bad joke, but there's a lot of truth in my bad joke. Is I always tell, if you want to have fun at a wedding, you need to be a guest at somebody else's, because it's really hard going through I mean, we started with you guys at 8:00 in the morning that day, so it's hard to go through the wedding day and really enjoy it. So I'm glad that you guys were able to go out and do the cocktail hour, because it really, I mean, that's the one time where everyone's just relaxed and it's just very casual. There's no structure to the wedding at all. It's just very casual. So that's great that you guys got to go out and do that. So
Did you have
all
one?
right. But you have, I was gonna say, do you have one?
Same answer? Different answer?
That is one of them, but my favorite part was the first look.
Oh.
That was so awesome. Like, it's so funny because I feel like it wasn't even the part about looking at each other. I know that the whole purpose is to be like, whoa, you look so good. Like, we didn't even care about that. We just like wanted to see each other. And I think like, because as soon as we pulled up to the venue that day in the bus, I was like already kind of feeling like this gravitational pull, like almost like this magnetic feeling of
Like
like
he's here.
yeah, like I know he's nearby and I can feel him nearby, and I haven't seen him in like more than 12 hours. And so like the anticipation up until that moment, and then it was only us with like, some of the bridal party watching nearby, and then
And
afterwards
some
like
weirdos that are walking around that we had to yell at to get out of the way.
Yeah.
The guy in the Lakers jersey, the damn Lakers fan. Anyway, I digress. Sorry, DJ.
I remember that one. It was so funny.
I'm
But
like, just get the. That was just funny.
you're like, excuse me.
It's always the Laker fans.
Damn Laker fans.
Yeah. But even the bridal party to this day, they talk about how that was like such a core memory of the day because they got to kind of like watch from around the corner. And my cousin actually got like a cell phone video from where she was standing.
Oh.
And that was so cool because we kind of got to see like some of the groomsmen were in the shot because she was like recording from around the corner and getting to see the way, because I had no idea everybody else was reacting too. Like you can
They
see,
were all crying. They were all
Yes.
bawling their eyes out.
yeah, or
Yeah.
you could just see the groomsmen like they just start crying. And when I watch that, oh my gosh, it just makes me so happy because like I got to see you, but then I actually know that someone else was kind of witnessing it and feeling those same things. So that was so cool. I loved that.
Yeah, I remember that was other than that damn Laker guy, but it was all. They were just clueless. They were just like they had no idea what was going. And then finally, I'm like, "We're this is a very private moment. Can you just give them?" And then
No,
the
but I
wife.
agree, DJ. It was
Yeah.
so beautiful out there too, and just it was just a very wholesome moment, and it was great. It was really great.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
loved it. All right, were there any hidden gems or details you were glad you invested in?
Yeah, we actually DIY'd like the signage at Casa Real. So my dad was like really really awesome for helping us kind of buy all of the materials. He painted the mirrors. We laid down the actual vinyl stickers on it, but because I know those things can get pretty expensive, and for like a one-time use, it's not the most easy thing to find either. So choosing to do that, we designed our programs pretty much by scratch.
All the designs
Yeah.
we did ourselves.
So we had our fingerprints all over the look and feel.
Yeah.
I think another hidden gem that we kind of worked out with our florists from Vo Floral Designs was, so as you know, flowers can be really expensive. It's probably the second most expensive thing that we paid for besides the venue. But she was really awesome, and we were trying to find ways to kind of be more cost efficient and trying to, without sacrificing the look or the quality of view that we wanted. But she offered for, because we had like 35 tables,
36,
36
plus
tables,
bar.
because everyone like
Yeah.
tables of 10. So 36 flower vases was really expensive. So she actually suggested doing bud vases for half of them, while and the other half would be, the full florals. So it still gave the illusion of being full, but it also helped us on the cost side, and the bud vases were really, really nice anyway.
Aesthetically, like it looked so beautiful, and that it wasn't so symmetrical
It
throughout
was
the
like
room.
mixed, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And some things that a couple things that I really liked that were hidden gems, that like we had that welcome table with a bunch of our engagement photos. And our engagement photos that were taken in the Philippines were by one of my best friends, LTK Photography. So just knowing that was her work, and that it was like a gallery of her work that all of these people got to see. And our actual engagement day was our friend Raymond Baltazar, who did those photos, and they're both very talented photographers. And the fact we got to incorporate it into the first thing that you see when you walk in, like sharing the talents of the people we love. Because even the entertainment during the reception, which you guys didn't get to see, we wish you were there, but there were performances from our dance team, right? So
which we were in
we were in that too. And then there was a
singing.
singing performance by my cousins from all over the globe
Oh
that
wow.
came together to do that. So I feel like
First dance too.
and then yeah, our first dance was your niece and your cousin. They sang it live.
Oh wow.
So like
Wow.
those little pieces that made it feel so personal were probably like some of the most special parts of the day.
I love how you said that you get to share like their talents too with everybody.
Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
just and it makes just the day so much more special.
Mhm.
Love it.
Okay, so I think we're getting down to the end here. So I think kind of the last few thoughts that we want to send around is really just what have you guys learned throughout the planning process that you want to bestow upon the couples that are going through it right now? So do you guys have any tips that you wish you knew before you started, or just what are some wisdom we can bestow upon the couples right now?
I think kind of understanding what are your non-negotiables, yeah,
Oh.
and like what are what's core to you, right?
Because that's going to drive the whole
That's gonna drive the
process.
whole process. It's like
Yeah.
Mhm.
we knew that we wanted our family there, and it was like an all or nothing kind of deal. So either we invite the whole family or it's
Or
just a
no
small one.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna be butthurt for not being invited and
Non-negotiable.
all of that.
Yeah.
So obviously having a lot of family, that kind of narrows down the choices of like, okay, no more, we can't do a destination wedding, obviously, because that's just gonna be way too crazy. So that narrowed down like our choices, and then um yeah, your non-negotiables, like whether or your priority, whether it be really good food,
Mhm.
whether you want an awesome photographer that's like top of the line, um, performances, all of that. I see like yeah. So what's non-negotiable? Like what needs to be in the wedding? I
Yeah,
think
and then be realistic about it.
yeah.
Like, I think it
Mm.
is super awesome to dream as much as possible at the start, but the hardest parts of the process are the very beginning and the very end. And the reason being,
Mm.
at the very beginning, you have no vendors. And that whole vendor exploration process was really stressful for us, especially flowers and like those really big vendors, where it's like taking a huge chunk of your budget. And then the very end, when you're like, everything has to be locked in with every single vendor within that 2 to 3 week period right before. So then you're having to lock in at the very end. And in between, like, yes, it's not easy, but it's those two parts of the process that are going to be the most difficult, where you have to really, really work together. Like, if you can help it, don't be the couple that just lets one of you plan the whole thing, because I just feel like the process that is the start of your marriage. Like, it is an introduction to the way that you're going to collaborate as a married couple. And like, we've only been married for almost exactly 3 months to the day. Like, we see those things shine through like in our everyday life. And then the
Mm.
only piece of advice that I was like running around telling people, it's mostly for the brides, though, the bouquet preservation thing, I had no idea that
Mm.
I had to look for a bouquet preservation service and then book it ahead of time so that I had all the shipping equipment to send it in the next day. Cause sometimes I was at the hotel, our whole family was at the hotel for an extra 2 days, 3 days after. And then at
Mm.
that point, I'm trying my best to preserve this bouquet that's going to die regardless of how much I take care of it. And so by the time that I was ready to try and find someone to preserve it, like, there was no way. I didn't have any of the equipment with me. Even if I drove it out to somebody local, they would be like an hour away. But
Really
I was
expensive.
entertaining family. It was like expensive. And so I didn't end up preserving my bouquet, even though internally I had planned for it, but I just didn't know that it was something you had to reserve ahead of time. I just thought, like, oh, I'm going to find someone after. But I had to do it myself, and it was hard. And most of it ended up molding and not holding up. But
Oh
there were
no.
people that I ended up saving that we actually do have in a frame here, like, along with our program, our invitation, like, all preserved in a
Oh, like a
frame.
shadow box?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Pieces that I did get to keep are here. But ladies, please look into it ahead of time, because I suffered the consequences. But that was the only thing where I was like, oh shoot, it's a huge regret of mine. But it
Oh.
out on its own.
Well, and one thing too, DJ, my sister did this with her wedding, is she also wanted to preserve hers, but she had assigned someone to take it from her right after the wedding. So then they took it and they handled it, so then she didn't have to worry about it.
Yes.
But doing it yourself is hard too, because Meg, who was the other bride who came and did the podcast, she preserved hers too, but she's like one of my best friends, and I went over to her house and she had this huge box with like rice in it and other, I don't even know how she did it, but I was like, wow, this seems very complicated. So
it is complicated. And then I failed at the end of it, but I got to keep some and they look very cute and hopefully they last forever. So
I'm glad some of them came out.
Yeah.
And just having, I'm going to be honest, and your florist Trang, she's the best. So Vo Floral,
truly,
we just worked with her last night on an event, and she's probably hands down the sweetest woman in the wedding industry. So
so wonderful, like so gorgeous,
so seamless.
All those,
too.
she such a seamless process.
Right away, she when we went to the church, she had all of the
she even had extras because there were a couple guys I forgot to mention.
Yeah, so
she came prepared. It was all of our vendors were excellent. Cakes by Bev Tanaka.
Oh yeah, she's great.
Oh, I love her so much,
and she's retiring soon.
I know, it's so sad to us.
Oh no, I'm so glad that we had.
So yeah, me too.
Extra special.
Yeah.
All right. Well, guys, I think we come to the end. So I guess the best thing is just congratulations. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
And I loved your guys' advice. So eloquent.
Yeah.
You guys really thought about this, and I love that.
Yeah,
I hope so.
Yes, this was so fun. We were like, oh my gosh, this is such a great opportunity being on a podcast.
And we can't thank you both enough for the help on the day.
Yeah, no, people in the bridal party, because at first we were like, oh, we can handle it ourselves in the morning. Like, we don't need to learn. And then I started to get so worried. And someone in my bridal party was even like, do you even need that? And I was like, yes, I think we do. And after the fact, she was like, oh my gosh, everything made so much sense. Having day of coordination, starting that early in the morning, like there are certain things like no one wants to be responsible for or thinking that you have the capacity to be responsible for. But then once it comes to it, like
when it's go time, it's go time.
Yes, everything is just going to go by so quickly. And it was cool. It was cool having both of you there because we were always like, I just felt like those things are like the cherry on top to everything, like just gluing it all together.
Well, we appreciate that. But I will say you guys were very well behaved as a group. Like it wasn't like if we said something, everyone did it. There was no problems. It was like, even like when your girls did the first look with you at the hotel, it was like, I literally, I think I had 10 or 8 phones. I had everybody's phone, and they're all trying to like airdrop. You know how you put your phone together? They all start trying to airdrop. I'm like, what?
Oh,
and I'm like, what the hell is going on in my hands right now with all? But anyway, I'm like, you were coming, but then you weren't coming, but they stood there and they did exactly what we needed them to do, and no one complained about it, and they were a very well-behaved group of young ladies and young men.
Yes.
So it was
choose your bridal party wisely. Every single person in our bridal party was perfect for the job. And that's another reason it was a huge success. I'll say that as another piece of advice too.
Yeah, they were all there for you guys, and they were there to help you guys get through the day, and they weren't bringing their own drama to the wedding, which we find that happens a lot. It's like, me, and it's like, no,
it's not about you.
It's not about you, girlfriend. It's about them. So let's.
Yes, they had such amazing energy. Yeah, beginning to end, it was amazing.
All right. All right, guys. Well, we can't thank you for being on our second episode with talking about weddings. So thank you so much. You guys were a very special couple to us. So we were very happy that you guys get to come and be on here with us. So thank you so much. And folks, we'll see you on another episode of Now That I'm Engaged, How Do I Get Married? We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
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 To our listeners, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Now That I'm Engaged, How Do I Get Married podcast.
Brought to you by Fantasy Sound Event Services.
I hope you enjoyed listening to this episode. Please get in touch with me or August if you have any topic you would like us to cover.
Or if you're struggling with your wedding planning, please be sure to submit a question to podcast@fantasysound.com.
I encourage you to check out our other episodes on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcast. And if you're a fan, we'd love if you would subscribe to the podcast and leave a review.
It helps others find our podcast so that they can learn from our guests too. And to everybody listening,
happy wedding planning!